Good evening, everyone, and welcome once again to the place to be each and every Sunday night. Where tonight, if I get my buttons right, we are at Knock Hill for kind of a blast for the past. We're almost down to single split racing here this week. Crazy stuff. We've had some pretty interesting racing here this week. But there we are, round 7, Knock Hill, Sunday Night Lights, season 27. And yeah, Corey Steinhauser, the chaotic one himself, joins me, Alex McKellar, in the booth once again. And mate, she's pretty interesting out there, wouldn't you say?
Oh, absolutely, Alex. The participation's a little bit down. The strength of field's a little bit down at a 38.84. But the action on track is still expected to be pretty hot here tonight. We've got 16 cars to take on the Knock Hill circuit, and it all begins with our number 1 car, Mr. Christian Perez.
Yeah, hang on, I'm just struggling. Overlays have had an apoplectic something of some sorts. Just trying to get it sorted, folks. Sorry about that. I'll make sure we got the right thing going. Where are we? I think it's this one. Let's see how that one works. Empty, please. Go empty. I don't know, Corey. These things have gone interesting. Let me just refresh that. See if that works. Please work. Somebody. There we go. Let's go and see if that does the right thing. Maybe. I don't know, Corey. Oh, there we go. We're right. Christian Perez, he hasn't taken the grid yet. Adrian Rodriguez is car number 2. His teammate, of course, if I can get the driver names back up. Car number 3 here tonight, Hikaru Sasaki, leading Japanese driver, of course. Yuan Si Lin joining us again as car number 4. Car number 5, the leading AZ driver in the field tonight, head clown himself, Vasco Sorosky. Lone full in the race, Nick Vaughan Roberts, car number 6, making another start in the race tonight, Joachim Osbeck, car number 7. We've seen him a couple of times in SNL. Good to see him back again. Marcel Cermak is how I'm going to pronounce that. He's from Europe. He's done a 54.7 first lap. That's a decent time there, Corey. Car number 9, Russell Clark third. Team Milo, boss man, one of several ANZ drivers in the field. Car number 10, another ANZ driver in Paul Wilson, Corey.
That's exactly right. Coming up as car number 11, we have the other Team Milo car, Luke Winton from Oz NZ. Coming up as our 12th plated car, it is currently 7:20 in the morning for Philip Burke from Florida. 13th plated car is going to be Ryan Portelli from Oz NZ. We've got Nathan Varney from Locked On Eye Racing as car number 14, Oz NZ. And then wrapping up the field, we've got 2 more Oz NZ drivers. We've got one Mark Jeffrey as the 15th plated car, who was just sitting on the grid ominously, maybe just mentally preparing for the race, and Matthew Harriott, who I just had a fantastic race with in the warm-up race, Alex.
Yeah, got some seat time in the Formula Vs in real life, as far as I'm aware. Does Matt Harriott, does a bit of Auscar racing as well. I think this is his debut in the top split here on a Sunday night. I tell you who I'm glad to see back in the top split, Mark Jeffrey, the official stalwart of SNL racing these days. Can't get a nicer bloke out there on the grid, and out the grid is where he's kind of sitting now. I don't know, as you say, maybe he's trying to get Zen for the big one. Maybe he's realised he's in the top split. I don't know, Corey. He's he's just sitting there. Meanwhile, Vaughan Roberts has set a 54.9. The soft's not as strong as we've seen in the last few seasons. The punters have stayed away this week. The participation's been pretty tragic, if I'm honest, as Vaughan Roberts tries the slidey way around the circuit at that point. But the pace, nonetheless, Cermak, who I've got to tell you, I have never seen. He's done a 54.6 to drop it on pole. I'm trying to find Perez. There he is. As Perez drops a 54.4. Get that into you, folks.
That is an incredible time for Perez to take the pole, and he caps it off by just absolutely leaving the circuit as soon as it's done. Luke Winton's finished his laps too. He's finished in P8. I think Ryan Portali has finished his lap, so I can see him still going around. Nathan Varney's gone for a spin, but he's on his cooldown lap, so that one doesn't matter. And I think for the most part, everyone has finished their laps here, Alex. It might just be one or two who came into some dramas on their lap.
Yeah, I think you're right, mate. I think it's just those who, folks just quietening down. Verney, great to see Nathan Verney for Locked On, of course. He's had a couple of runs. Most notably, my last recollection of Nathan's, that's how they go sometimes when you light them up out the rear. Not many places the rear gets loose in the skips, but this is one of them. Last time I remember Nathan in the top split was, of course, at Belle Isle a couple of seasons ago, so he'll be looking forward to his run, no doubt, as we've got a couple of minutes left to go, no doubt. Now, we might just try one of these. Don't forget, of course, our match day sponsor, for want of a better term. I've got to turn the thing on. There we go. Infinite Racing Services. Of course, they've got some great prizes this season for us. They've put up a 12-month subscription for the overall winner of Sunday Night Lights. There is a coaching session for the driver that scores the most points outside of the top split, those guys that are up and coming and trying to crack it for a run. Some of whom are in the field tonight. So the points they score tonight won't count towards that championship and that prize. However, it will every time they're racing outside the top split. And of course, one lucky subscriber to the Top Split TV channel will get a 3-month subscription to Infinite Racing Services. Corey, plenty on offer for the folks at home as well.
That's right, and the services are really good too, and the driver coach for them is none other than Manuel Luqueta, obviously one of the best skippy drivers in the world right now on iRacing. And, it's a great opportunity for anyone who does win because, you are literally getting taught by the best in the business as far as that is concerned.
Yeah, absolutely, mate. Plenty on offer there with our friends over at Infinite Racing Services. So great to have them on board for this season with some great community-based prizes, of course, and we thank them very much for their support. As about 20 seconds to go, again, that stunning time from Perez, honestly, 54.4. Plenty of folk. I don't think I've run one. I might have run one in a race in a heavy draft. No, I think I got a 54.3 with draft behind Vasco earlier tonight, but nothing like that in quality. That's a stunning time.
Oh, absolutely, Alex. I think my best is a 55.2, and that was in draft, and definitely not in quali.
Yeah.
But it looks like drivers are starting to head to the grid.
Yeah, absolutely. As my overlays are still cactus. Anyway, we've got Sunday Night Lights around. Oh, it's all cactus here. Trust me, we're at round 5, and we're at Knock Hill as I try and figure that out. Of course, the great Christian Perez has dropped it on pole with that amazing time that we saw as Alex just quickly, there we go, round 5 Knock Hill. Marcel Cermak, who I haven't raced before, interesting to see how he goes, starting from second on right beside Perez. Adrian Rodriguez, Perez's teammate, starts out of third ahead of Hikaru Sasaki, the lone and leading Japanese driver in the field. Nick Vaughan Roberts, the Mad Welshman, for two fools racing out of fifth. Vasco Sorosky, who's done some yards this week, looking to move forward from sixth for Team Clowns. Leading ANZ driver Yuan Si Lin from China out of seventh. Got some good pace. Surprising he's down as far as seventh. Looking to move forward. Luke Witten, welcome return for the great ANZ driver and Team Milo representative. Joachim Osbeck from Scandinavia out of ninth. Philip Burke, newcomer to the series, at least on a Sunday night here, out of 10th. Paul Wilson, probably his third run, I think, in the top split this season. Just ahead of Ryan Portelli out of 12th. 13th on the grid will be Mr. Nathan Verney for Locked On Racing. 14th, Team Milo boss man Russell Clark. Mark Jeffrey out of 15th, just ahead of Matthew Harrett, your sparring partner, who starts last on the grid, Corey.
That's exactly right, Alex. It's time for all the cars to get on the grid. This is when it really starts to count. We're just waiting on Christian Perez now, I do believe. And it's going to be interesting from here as all cars are now on the grid. The revs start to rise as the red lights mean rev.
Green flag,
And the
green
green
flag.
lights mean go. We are underway here for season 28, round number 5 from Knockhill. And Christian Perez immediately storming over to the left side of the circuit to maintain his lead going into turn number 1, Alex.
Yeah, and maintain it he does as they start coming down the hill through this challenging middle section. Through 3 now. Very difficult uphill through the chicane to get through successfully and navigate it consistently. And those who do well here tonight will do both those things. Surprisingly, depending how things pan out, you can get a mixture of lots of overtaking or very little, as immediately Perez goes on the defence from Cermak, as we said, new to the series, all black, side by side, looking to make the move early on. Car number 8 in this field, but don't let that fool you as Rodriguez looks to take advantage, Corey.
That's right. Rodriguez got a great run coming through the final corner, but not as good as what Cermak did, as they now file back into second and third. And it's just interesting watching these cars, especially coming through turn 1. On cold tyres, it's so easy to get this first section of the track wrong. But wide goes Perez into the gravel, and this is Cermak's chance, and he's taken the lead away, Alex.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, it's lucky Perez has got his teammate, because I don't think Rodriguez backs out for anyone else there. I think he probably forces the car returning on track to give up and take his medicine, as I call it. But Perez back in line now, and Cermak really making an impression early, Corey.
That's exactly right. As you said, I was pretty sure this is his SNL debut as he goes sideways through the final corner coming onto the pit straight. Now it's going to be all up to Perez and Rodriguez to try and get back around him as we start lap number 3. And you see Perez looking for the move into turn 1. He's side by side and he gets the run. And he's still side by side going through 2, but he'll get it here in turn 3 quite easily. And this is also Rodriguez's chance to try and make a move as well, although he's going to think that the discretion is better part of valor this time, Alex.
Yeah, the side by side action aplenty already. Oh, there's a few behind. Oh, one's caught in the background. It's Burke. He's had a shocker there. I think. Let's go see what happened here. Hang on. I think it was Witten and Burke, if I can find him. And then he just goes round all on his own. The rear lit up and away she goes. Anyway, that was a little bit of a giggle, but not for Mr. Burke. Unfortunately, on debut, all the way down in 16th at this stage, as the leaders now come once again through turn 1. The elevation change is one of the absolute unique and fascinating characteristics of this track, Corey.
Yeah, that's right, Alex. And also what makes it one of the more difficult tracks to navigate, especially coming through like this turn 5-6 chicane. There's a little bit of an uphill to it, as well as, you've got to be really aggressive with the curbs. And that can really unsettle these skippies. You can either send you spinning off on the right, or you can go off on the left into the gravel, a place where I spent a lot of time in the last couple of races. But also, interestingly, Alex, Rodriguez made his way up into P2 at the start of the last lap while you were looking at those replays. Just got a really good run up on the inside of Marcel, while Marcel was trying to mount a charge on Perez.
Yeah, that's it. Oh, look at the line astern, the 2 purple cars. It's Perez followed by Rodriguez. They're getting it done, but she's tight there, and it's really Cermak who's got the work to do now. The 2 purple cars we know have mountains of experience, 2 of the best in the world. Cermak, a relative unknown. Anyone in the chat got a quick Google for us? Has he got real track time? He's racing like he's had some experience, that's for sure.
That's exactly right, Alex. I mean, you don't just qualify second and then maintain third in a race of the best in the world for nothing. As it looks like this time, Rodriguez is going to look for a move up on the inside of Perez in the final corner. Not going to just not going to be able to do anything about it, as Perez gets a slightly better run coming out of the corner. And I reckon we might see a little bit more of NASCAR-style drafting, although out of the draft pulls Rodriguez. And he's not going to go for the move I thought he was going to there into turn 1. Definitely one of the overtaking opportunities on this track, Alex, but it can be a little bit hard to pull it off.
Yeah, absolutely, mate. I have done a bit quick Googling myself. Plenty of karting experience. I'm talking better than half a decade of karting experience for Cermak. So he knows how to get around in a low-powered car. As we see Sasaki, though, taking advantage. Sasaki getting through on Cermak this time round, and Sasaki's left the door open up the inside, though. Interesting characteristic coming out of the final corner, though. The outside driver often having the drive, although Sasaki's really given this one up, and now coming under threat from Vaughan Roberts behind. And what this is doing is letting the Astro boys potentially get away. Sasaki says, no, I want the position back into turn one. That's an absolute lay-down Mazare, but he pulls out of it. I was going to say lay-down purple Mazare. Those two boys are gone. Look at them, nose to tail. They will not be caught. Very interesting to see how we go from his Cermak. What sort of pace is he? Beautiful. Look at the attitude of the cars over the cresting chicane here. Blind, fully committed. The drivers go through there. Fascinating to see how all of them surviving to this point. Already, we haven't, can you believe it, Corey? We haven't yet beaten Perez's pole time. Perez has done a 54.5 as the fastest lap last time round. Still hasn't beat his time for pole.
That is incredible, considering that was only 2 laps, and we're already now 7 laps complete in this race as the leaders come up to the pit straight this time. And yep, still no records dropped this time. But you know, it's just the way that Perez and Rodriguez are handling themselves here. The way they're just bump drafting along that front straight, NASCAR style. They're definitely going to be opening up this lead a little bit unless Cermak can definitely find a way to close up this gap, but it's going to be really difficult for him, especially if he's going to be playing out in the gravel like that coming out of turn 6.
Yeah, absolutely. You got to use all the track here. Very easy to pick up incident points. You got to be very mindful of the total of 17, the magic number that keeps you in or out of the race. Cermak now has looked, he's bridged the gap. How's that for pace? Seriously. Bridged the gap. He's almost left Sasaki. Sasaki, of course, won the race here last season in the reverse layout. And it is Rodriguez. No, he's going to pull back in. But Cermak, please. How's the pace, Corey? He's done a 50. Finally, someone's beaten the pole time with a 54.3. I reckon, Corey, the 53-second lap is in danger at this stage.
Oh, I actually think that you might be right here, Alex. As the fuel burns off, these cars get lighter, they only get faster. And our top 3 have pulled away from the rest of the field right now. And Cermak definitely looking like he's going to be the one in contention to maybe threaten these purple cars for the lead as Rodriguez goes over to the right of track. That's not so much to try and go for a move as it is to try and discourage Cermak from wanting to make the move. And also just to pop out of the draft so he doesn't get too big of a run on Perez. See, he's doing it again here on the pit straight as well. And as I said, it's not just to you know, go for a move, because it's definitely not the intention. But he's just, you know, using the unspoken language, as we like to call it here at Top Split, Alex.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, Ford Roberts is gone. Let's go and have a look through the opening sector. Oh, I think he's done that all on his own. Soroski throws out the anchors and gets through, but so easy to do. And it's actually the overcook in one that does it. The overcook in one will get you the rear very happy through 2 as you're trying to get back to open up 3. And if the rear can go, as we saw just there. Oh, it's up the inside. Cermak's having a look. But as I said, Rodriguez should have the drive out of the corner, though he's got a bit of dirt to contend with. He'll have his teammate in front of him giving draft. Very interesting how the nature of that final corner works, but Cermak, he's going to have a look too wide through turn 1, upsets the line of the Astro driver Rodriguez. Perez licking his lips at the chance to run away. We've seen the pace of Cermak. I reckon he's got in his head that he can bridge the gap should one open, and one is almost opening up. 7/10 to Perez now, Rodriguez to Perez, 2-3, and Sasaki now in the draft. Just in the draft behind him is Soroski, and one Silin similarly. Look, we could see a 5-car, 6-car pack again. They're still a bit strung out, but it could close up. But I would suggest the front three still probably likely to get away, but shows how tough it is to get around here, Corey. You see the setup from the final corner through turn 1, and he still couldn't get it done, the newcomer Cermak.
Well, see, we were talking about this just before the race, Alex. This is a very technical circuit. So are a lot of the tracks that we have on the schedule this season. And with the technical circuits, it makes it very difficult to get an overtake done. You really need to rely on the pressure to pass to try and get a move made around these kinds of circuits. And Cermak doing everything in his power to do that, as they have reopened up this gap back to Sasaki. So it's now about to a 1.5 second gap between Cermak and Sasaki right now. So Sasaki, he was licking his lips at the opportunity, but it started to close up. And now he's actually under pressure from Swarovski right now, Alex.
Yeah, Swarovski. Oh, once he was just almost into the rear Swarovski as it closed up there into the final corner. Everything compresses there. The drivers compress together. The suspension compresses as they go up the hill. And the racing, of course, all the better for it. But very tidy there. Swarovski's done plenty of laps, as I said. As Cermak now has set the fastest lap in the draft in P3. He's done a 54.1. The Magic 53 not too far away, but I tell you, it's taken them a long time to catch Perez, even with draft. They're not catching substantially, although now the gap has really closed and at the same time opened up to Sasaki. As you said, they've dropped him by nearly 2.5 seconds, Corey. Amazing. Swarovski patiently, just as you say, non-verbally saying to Lin, no chance for you to go through there, mate, without putting too much pressure on Sasaki in front of him. Because all the while you got to watch for Osbeck and Witten, who've been dropped by the second pack. But Witten, of course, he's the only ANZ winner of a 2K Cup race before it went the way of the Dodo. So he's got some pace. Hasn't been in the game for a while, but he's certainly no slouch around here. As Cermak once again, last lap, 54.09. Itching ever closer to the 53, Corey.
That's exactly right, Alex. And with these three being tied together as a pack once more, we might not see that 53 pop up for a little bit. But, if anyone's going to do it, it's definitely going to be Cermak. As you can see, Rodriguez now moving over to the right of circuit again. Again, that's just to tell Cermak, not this time. I'm not going to let you through. You're going to have to really work for it if you want to get this second place. As in the background, Zhao Lin has just gotten around Vasco, but Vasco starting the battle back on the outside with the supreme run out of the final corner, Alex.
Yeah, again, it's just the characteristic of that final corner. You can defend on the outside. You get the better drive out of the final corner, and you've got to take it into account when it comes to, and we saw Cowboy do it last season tremendously well. He was able to defend time after time around the outside of the final. It wasn't last season, it was the last time we were in this layout. Time after time around the outside, you just get less wheel spin as the elevation, the gradient of the elevation is slightly less around the outside here. You get less wheel spin than those who are on the inside on the compromised line. These guys cracking at it again. Now, one driver that we've lost, I was talking him up. I don't often give a commentator's curse, but I think we lost Luke Witten. I think he's had a bit of a moment. We're just looking at the replay. Oh, he's gone off. He's come back on. He's back off and side by side through there. Oh, he's everywhere and around she goes. Milo doing Milo things, unfortunately. Oh, he's come back on in front of the boss. Look at that. He came back on in front of his boss in Russell Clark, who would not have thanked him for that, I'm sure.
Oh, definitely not, Alex. And while you're looking at that replay, there was a battle going on between Rodriguez and
Cermak.
Cermak, yep. Had a big great part as Rodriguez now up the inside of Perez. The battle is on for the lead, but they were side by side through the first section of corners last lap, Alex. And Cermak had the outside run going through the first corner, which is not the optimal line. But it looks like he's going to go for it here again. I think this is Perez's and Rodriguez's way of trying to keep him behind them going through the first section of corners.
Yeah, absolutely. Managed. Yeah, look, there's so much strategy in how you position your car here to remain in front in a pack like this. I'm pleased that there's 3 cars in this pack because the 2 purple boys running away would have not led us to a happy evening, I'm sure. But in terms of entertainment, at least. But these guys absolutely getting it done up front as the secondary pack as well. Swarovski has a look up the inside. Oh, so close. Sasaki should get the drive out. Will he be able to hang on to it? Lin now looking to follow Sasaki. They will be two abreast into the first corner because Lin is leaving no room for Swarovski to come back in. They will be forced to go 2 wide. Sasaki not backing out either. Side by side through turn 2 now. Into turn 3. They finally get it. Line astern, and Sasaki defends. It took him half a lap to do it, Corey, but he defends through that series of corners. That sequence was amazing.
Oh, it absolutely was, Alex. And this just goes to show that these guys truly are the best in the world at what they do. It's not very often you see 2 cars go side by side through turn 1 and 2 and still manage to hold it going into turn 3. But with this level of racing, you definitely get to see that each and every single time they go side by side through there. The top 3 are still all lined astern. It looks like all the action is going to remain here with the second 3 for the moment. As you know, things are definitely starting to heat up as we're definitely past the halfway marker in this race, Alex.
Yeah, the laps tick by pretty quickly here, and they are. I mean, it's amazing to race here that you think 27 laps, but they just go and they go fast, and it's so you're never sitting still, you're never not busy. As up they come through 5 once again. Very important to get your run through 5 correct because without it. You are under immense pressure into the final corner as we see this time round. It is Rodriguez, Captain Kryptonite for Perez, who's under some pressure now from Cermak this time round.
That's right, Alex, and looks like Rodriguez pulling out of the draft. We'll see whether he's going to try and go for the overtake. No, not this time. He's just doing the same thing as always, just pulling out so he doesn't get too big of a run. But look how sideways they are coming over that crest through turn 1. And Cermak with a big run up the inside this time. That's not where you usually make an overtaking maneuver. But Cermak definitely looking for anywhere where he can make a pass right now, Alex.
Yeah, he's trying anything and everything that he can. Nothing as yet the newcomer has been able to do to successfully get by the old stages. But I don't know if they'll like me calling them that, but they are some of the elite in the Skippy fields come anyone that rocks up here on a Sunday night in Perez and Rodriguez. Cermak, though, immediately making his impression as the line astern they go into turn 1 once again. Not so much line astern though for Swarovski, who's coming under pressure from Lin. Lin looking to make his move into turn 1 this time round. Pokes the nose in front. Swarovski forced to cede the corner. And car number 4 now looking eyes forward to chase down Sasaki, who's sitting in P4 ahead of them, Corey, but looking to get away on the back of that manoeuvre if he can.
Oh, absolutely, Alex. Sasaki, the best thing that he could have right now is these 2 behind him battling it out, so that way he can just keep focusing on the track ahead. And you can see there's such a huge gap right now between Sasaki and Lin, as it's about 7/10 of a second right now going along the back straight here, the railway straight. And Sasaki definitely looking at opening up this gap. Is back up at the front of the field, and we had an overtake for second. I missed it, Alex, but Rodriguez has fallen back to 3rd.
Yeah, I'm trying to spot the overtake. Here it is. Let's go and have a look. Oh, look at the late move.
Rodriguez is around.
Oh, hang on. Late move. There you go. All right, Rodriguez is gone, you reckon? Yeah, look at him. He's right the way back. Let's go have a look. Check out what happened there. Oh, he's shown the nose up the inside, and the move wasn't on, and yeah, that's cost him now. He's back in the clutches. Oh, in fact, Sasaki's gone by on the back of that, and he's now back in P4, leaving Cermak to chase down the lone purple car for Astro Racing and Perez, Corey.
That's right, Alex. Now, this is where things are going to be interesting. This is where we'll see what kind of pace Cermak has versus Perez. We know that it will be draft affected his lap times here, but it'll be interesting to see whether he can catch and pass Perez. Well, we only have the balance of about 4.5 laps left to go, and these 4.5 laps, they're going to go very quickly, Alex.
Yeah, 100%. As what's the gap now? It's 0.8 of a second and closing, and yeah, look. What have we got? 5 laps? 5 laps when they cross the line. It's doable, but he's got to not light it up coming out of the final corner, as this secondary pack now led by Sasaki is compressed once again. As we see Perez up in the distance trying to break draft as much as he can. Sasaki now is going to have all sorts of purple Rodriguez in his mirrors, and Swarovski on the back of this thinking what could have been potentially. As we see Cermak not making any impression. Perez really got the bit between the teeth. Not going to let the Polish car catch him tonight, Corey, by the looks.
Oh, definitely not, Alex. Perez is going to do everything in his power to try and pull away from Cermak right now, as you know, this is his best opportunity to try and win this race. He doesn't have his kryptonite right behind him. Speaking of his kryptonite, Rodriguez has just made the move around Sasaki to take over the 3rd position once more.
Oh, they're going to go 3 wide, are they, into the final quarter? No, they're going to go Noah's Ark 2x2, as you can see the smoke coming up from the wheel spin on the inside line in particular. Lynn now having a look, Willie, because Sasaki's got nowhere to go with that run. No, he has moved out. They are going to go 2x2 once again through turn 1. Rodriguez, that's going to, he might have picked up a slowdown there, potentially. Lynn looking to pick up the pieces if he has. Rodriguez, yeah, pulls over. He has picked up the slowdown, trying to surf it up the hill through the chicane. Side by side with Swarovski, who manages to hang on around the outside. What kind of driving was that? They managed to go side by side through the chicane, Corey. Outstanding. Swarovski won't be happy that Rodriguez was serving his penalty in that fashion, I can tell you.
Oh, definitely not, Alex. Side by side through that chicane is never a thing that happens in the history of ever. And wow, that was both dangerous and exhilarating. And you know, I'm pretty sure Swarovski was a little bit in a higher heart rate there as that was all going on. But he's taken over the 5th place now. And all he's got to do is try and keep Rodriguez behind him. He'll be in for a decent day, which he doesn't get very often this season. It's great to see him up there in the top 5 and battling for a good result.
Yeah, absolutely, mate. Just checking in on our leaders. Yeah, Cermak has not been able to make much of an impression here on Perez, who's absolutely got the bit between the teeth as he comes around the final corner. Although, yeah, look at the lighting up of the rear of Cermak. Sasaki now has Lynn in his view mirror. Side by side, Swarovski with Rodriguez. Rodriguez looking to try the over-under. Gets the better drive out, you can see on that outside line, and he is immediately side by side with the head clown Vasco Swarovski as the white flag waves. What do they got for us here through turn 1? Swarovski opens up the corner. Rodriguez has to tuck in behind, though. The move gets done before the corner. That's the difference in the drive between the inside and outside lines. But it's going to be Perez. Perez is driving away with this one uphill round turn 5 once again. Grabs a bit of the dirt. It's half a second and closing, but certainly not closing enough. Cermak making an impression on this one on his first night out on a Sunday night. here, but oh, look at the lockup. He was trying everything there, but it's going to be Christian Perez, champion from 2 seasons ago, looking to go champion again this season. Takes the win from Cermak. Lynn leading the second pack now. He's going to come across the line with a well-deserved podium. Sasaki just tucks in behind. Sorosky, the leading ANZ driver, back in 6th, Corey.
Yeah, that's right, Alex. It's great to see Sorosky just hold on for a decent position as, we're waiting for everyone else to cross the line. A lot of people just struggling a little bit with the nature of this track. A couple of people getting caught out by the elevation change, Nick Vaughan-Roberts being one of them, but he's still come home in P13, Alex, out of the points, but still not a half bad result considering what could have been.
Absolutely, mate. I'll tell you what, I enjoyed the Milo formation finish at the back there as well. But all right, let's grab a different shot here and let's go check out our race results. Apologies, folks. We had a bit of struggle town this evening with the overlays and everything, but we got it sorted. It's okay. Round 5, Knock Hill, season 28, Sunday Night Lights. Our race results are there for you to see. Astro Racing Teams, Purple Flyer, Christian Perez takes it out from Marcel Cermak, the newcomer. So he's a tick under 4K I rating. He's picked up 87 out of that. If he chooses to come race with us again, I'm sure he's gonna mix it up with the big boys as we saw here tonight, and gave a good account of himself. Well done, Wan Si Lin. He's finished as the final spot on the podium. I have no doubt that's his best result here on a Sunday night. Hikaru Sasaki, leading Japanese driver this season and indeed again tonight's finished in 4th. Adrian Rodriguez certainly put on a show tonight, made some moves and suffered the consequences of sometimes rolling the dice and it comes off and sometimes it doesn't. He's finished in 5th, just ahead of Team Clowns and ANZ's own Vasco Sorosky. Joachim Osbeck from Scandinavia has finished in 7th. Russell Clark, the 3rd, leading the way home for Team Milo here tonight. The boss man finishing in 8th, just ahead of his teammate Luke Witten in 9th. Paul Wilson made a top 10 finish, which again, I think, if memory serves, this is his 3rd run this season, if I'm not mistaken, and that's his best result with a top 10 here on a Sunday night. Ryan Portelli from ANZ finishing 11, just ahead of Locked On iRacing's own Nathan Verney in 12th, rounding out the SNL point scoring positions. Nick Vaughan-Roberts, after that adventure on the outside of turn 2, in between 2 and 3, he's just outside the points, as you said, for Two Fools Racing. The Mad Welshman down in 13th. Philip Burke, after his early morning adventure, he's down in 14th, just ahead of Matt Harriott in 15th. And Mark Jeffrey, all the way down to 16th here tonight. Not the where we wanted to see Mark, but I was glad he got a run anyway.
Yeah, that's right, Alex. And, I just saw something in chat that definitely reigns true. There's not many people in this world who can keep up with the pace of Perez when he's got clean air like that. So Cermak being able to do so, especially in those final stages of the race, and not only just maintain pace with Perez, but closed in on him a little bit, that really goes to show the pace that Cermak had around here. So, he's definitely looking the biz right there in P2, and hopefully he comes back and races again, because I reckon if he sticks out with us for a season, he'll definitely be very high in points, and he'll definitely shoot up in the I rating.
Yeah, that's it. I agree, mate. He certainly had some pace, and we saw him bridge the gap, which is so difficult to do. One lap pace is obviously outstanding. He struggled though at the end there. Once the tyre temps were up and everything was fully ready to go, Perez once again sort of, showed his quality, the calibre of his driving as one of, if not the premier driver in the Skippy fields these days, and was able to keep that gap to where it was, even with draft. So, he's obviously stepped up as the competition really came to meet him tonight. But we do have a driver here coming to say g'day. I am going to grab this one here. It is one Vasco Sorowski, the head clown himself. Vasco, mate, she was fairly hot and heavy out there tonight.
Evening, guys. Yeah, that was fun, different, all that, all the above. We just made too many mistakes, like the race before, and it cost us. And yeah, at one point it was a good battle there with Sasaki for a while, and then I overcooked it in the last corner, as Alex Wood knows. That's my favourite corner of this track. And then I didn't want to hold up Lynn, and then I didn't think, if we went side by side, turn one sort of thing. And so, yeah, but then I didn't, with Adrian, but he must have got a slowdown or something, and going through the jump side by side was a bit interesting. So, yeah. And then coming back into turn one on the last lap, I thought about on the outside, but I thought that will probably most likely not finish. So took self-preservation into account for that one.
Yeah, mate. Sometimes discretion is the better part of valor, as they say. But yeah, we did spot the side by side through the chicane during the serving of the penalty. That was pretty mega, I have to say. And you both did remarkably well, all things considered. So nothing like a bit of excitement on your Sunday night, I should say. So big week of racing ends for you in the SNL points, mate. First time for a little while, which is good. Probably wanted to be a bit further up, but the calibre up there was pretty hot.
They were very quick at the front. We thought we'll hang with them for a while, but then the gaps opened up and Vass makes too many mistakes at times. So yeah, we'll work on it, right?
Yeah, absolutely, mate. That's the way. All right. Thank you for joining us on Track and in the booth, mate. Anyone you'd like to give a shout out to tonight before we let you go?
Oh, you and Corey, as always. You guys put on a mega thing, and all the other drivers, 100%. And obviously the boys that yell at me all through the race. So, mint. Yeah.
Very good. Thanks, Vasco. Talk to you soon, mate.
See ya.
Yeah, Corey, head clown himself, Mr. Vasco Sorowski, back in the points. I think it might even be the first time this season. Actually, he's had a bit of a rough trot on a Sunday night in the big one. He's been scoring some big points outside of SNL, but good to see him back in the points here.
Yeah, absolutely, Alex. His run here with SNL this season so far has been absolutely shocking, to say the best, but it's great to see him up there in P6, almost a P5. He definitely raced his little heart out tonight, and any points are great points, and he's definitely going to be looking forward to next week and doing it with a little bit more momentum behind him now that he's finally gotten that monkey off his back and gotten some points for SNL this season. Yeah,
that's it, mate. Absolutely. Now we will grab our race winner once again, Mr. Christian Perez. Christian, mate, that's it's tough out there. The guys put some pressure on you, and including Marcel, the newcomer. That looked like it was exciting. How was it for you?
Stressful. Stressful. Yeah, was a pretty hard race to do. I thought that it was not because these guys are super fast and I just couldn't make any type of gap. It was all laps fighting, and yeah, I tried to defend all the time and try to be on first the most time possible. And because something happens always, and in this case Adrian and Marcel touched each other, and then Marcel couldn't caught me again, and yeah, I had a little bit of luck again.
Yeah, that's it, mate. And mate, can I just say, amazing pole time, amazing qualifying time here tonight. What was it, a 54.4, I think it was? I know,
yeah.
I'm pretty sure you've been working on your quali time and it paid off tonight, yeah?
Yeah. I don't know, last season I didn't understand sometimes.
Yep.
And I just trying to improve that. Well, I'm trying. This circuit it fits well to me, but it is not easy to make a pole.
Absolutely. You did very well, mate. Congratulations, and well done on another win. Great to see you back out there and putting on a great show. Now, before we let you go, is there anyone you'd like to give a shout out to?
Yeah, of course, the same as last week. Loris, my good friend, and Adrian, that he had in the best of his race.
Very good. All right. Thanks, Christian. Great to see you as always, and look forward to talking to you again soon.
Ciao.
There you go, Corey. Christian Perez, one of the best in the business, showed us again tonight. And I tell you, we talked about it before, but you can see in the distance there, Marcel having to make a pass on Sasaki. Look at the gap that the two purple cars had, and Cermak's caught it up. That's probably something really to think about if he does turn up again here on a Sunday night. But great to see Christian hang on for a great win.
Yeah, that's right. Cermak definitely kept Perez honest this race. So did Rodriguez until Rodriguez had that unfortunate coming together with Cermak. But Perez, he goes to show why he's the class of the field. He was the number one car out there tonight, and he showed everyone exactly why he's got the number one on that car. We know that the numbers don't usually matter on the cars when it comes to these top split races, because we've had people start from the very back as the lowest number and come through and get really decent results. One example from this season is Rent's Defense when he was the 20 car at Daytona, getting it into 8th. So there's definitely something just in the top split race that can make some magical things happen. And Perez, he's on a hot streak right now. He's not trying to race for the championship, but he's in a damn good position to take it out this season.
Yeah, absolutely, mate. He's he's doing a bang-up job of it, whether he's trying to or not. Now, last one on our books tonight is Mr. Paul Wilson, who, if I'm not mistaken, third appearance in the top split this season. And if I am right, perhaps the best finish, mate. How'd you go?
Oh, finished in a Milo sandwich, mate. Russell and Luke either side of me across the line, but had a ding-dong battle. It was great. But Russell, Luke, Ryan and Nathan had a cracking time. Nick Roberts came through us at one stage. He spun out, got through the lot of us and then spun out again. But good, hard, tight battle. I'm drenched.
Yeah, no, and that's what more could you ask for, mate? You could get a great night out on the track, and I think, if I'm not mistaken, your best points finish here in the top split. Is that right?
I can't remember to the life of me. This year it is. I got a 7th once ages ago,
nice.
But no, that was great, mate. And I've loved this track this week. It's participation's been low, but it's a cracking little track. It's like a roller coaster, those first half a dozen corners.
Yeah, 100%, mate. And that's the thing. Different strokes for different folks. It won't appeal to everyone, but and we've seen the participation fall off, as you say. But it can put on some bang-up racing, which is what the skippies at most tracks can do, which is great to see. But listen, congratulations, mate. Really pleased to see you back in there, having a great race and having a good time as well. And you can always tell by the amount of sweat on the floor how good a night it's been. And by the sounds of it, it's been a good one. But before we let you go, mate, anyone you'd like to give a shout out to?
To Christian for his outstanding efforts in winning every bloody race in SNL. To you guys, of course, I'll say g'day to me boss and all the boys at Team Coaster Works. They're my unofficial sponsor. And that's about it. All the best, boys. Thanks very much for the racing.
Beautiful. Thanks, Paul, mate. Look forward to talking to you again soon.
Cheers. See ya.
Yeah, Corey, Paul Wilson, and, that's what we love to see. People getting out there, having a bang-up time. Look at Vernie in the background, sideways, beautiful. All right, great to see him out there enjoying. You can hear the smile in the voice, and that's what it's all about.
Yeah, that's exactly right, Alex. We're here to have fun. We're here by the community, for the community, and it's great to see some of the guys who don't necessarily get up there in the top split when we have our super big splits come out on a lower participation week like this and show everyone what they've got. And it's just it really just goes to show what kind of a community we've started to build here over the last 28 seasons and continue to build. And hopefully some of these guys that we see in the second split, we see them fighting a lot harder to get into that top split and taste the champagne and the glory that, can be beckoning just over the horizon.
Yeah, 100%, mate. I could not agree more. Love to see the folks in the community get out and have a crack. That might about do us, folks. Again, a bit of a rough start from a production point of view, but we got there. And, of course, the drivers did their part. They put on a great show. But, Corey, tell the folks at home what you got coming up this week.
So last week I was a little bit sick. I got a bit of a cold. So hopefully we'll get back to it next week with some Valorant, some iRacing, AI racing on both Tuesday and Thursday. We've also on Thursday on the Aussie Sim Commentator channel got round number 1 of Season 2 2022 of the Output Racing League, which will be an absolute blast. It's going to be from the Tricky Triangle itself. Pocono Raceway over 70 laps in the next gen cars, which is going to be interesting. It's the first season that we've run them with the new damage model, Alex, so that should be a lot of fun. And then it's back here next week with you when we go and tackle next week's race.
Yeah, looking forward to it already, mate, and hopefully bigger and better than ever. Of course, everything Top Split is on your screen at the moment. Join us in the Discord community on Twitch at Top Split TV, the Top Split on YouTube, and check out our friends over at InfiniteRacings.com. Infinite Racing Services, of course, bringing you all the prizes for the drivers and the community this season. That'll about do us, folks. Thank you once again, as always, for joining us. And on behalf of the chaotic one himself, Mr. Corey Steinhauser, I'm Alex McKellar. And until next time, I will say ciao for now.